What does it really mean to be rich? Is it the number staring back at you from your bank account? The size of your stock portfolio? Or is it something more? What if true wealth wasn't just about money, but about influence, about legacy, about the power to shape an entire community and inspire a nation? What does it take to not just succeed, but to build an empire in a new country? For the nearly 1 million Filipino Canadians, the journey is one of resilience, ambition, and a relentless drive for a better life. But for a select few, that journey has led to the very top. Now, finding a definitive ranking of the richest Filipino families in Canada by pure net worth is almost impossible. Here in Canada, unlike the Philippines, wealth isn't always on public display. The truest measure of a family's power often lies beyond their balance sheets. It's found in their impact. So for this list, we're redefining rich. We're talking about a wealth of influence, a richness of legacy, and the kind of success that changes the game for everyone. These are the families who have built empires of impact, whose stories are now woven into the fabric of Canadian society. We're counting down the top 10 most influential Filipino families who have not only achieved financial success, but have forged a lasting legacy. Their stories of struggle, strategy, and triumph are bound to inspire you. Stick around to discover who holds the #1 spot. These families started with little more than a dream and are now shaping the Canadian landscape. They are the entrepreneurs, the political pioneers, the public health guardians, and the cultural icons of a generation. Their stories aren't just about making it in Canada, they're about redefining what success even looks like. From turning a small loan into a multi-province food empire to breaking barriers in Parliament, these are the stories of the Filipino-Canadian power brokers. Number 10. The Josel Influence, the cultural ambassador of comedy. Coming in at number 10, we have a name whose wealth isn't measured in factories or real estate, but in laughter and cultural currency. This is the influence built by Ron Josel. For decades, Ron Josel has been synonymous with Filipino-Canadian humor, breaking ground on stages where few faces looked like his. Ron's story begins in the 1990s, a tough time for diverse voices in the North American comedy scene. He recalls starting out when, if he didn't address his heritage, the audience would demand to know what's wrong with your face. Instead of shying away, he leaned in. He transformed his Filipino identity not into a gimmick, but into the very core of his comedic genius. His material, often drawing from the hilarious and relatable experience of growing up in a Filipino household, became a bridge. It gave non-Filipino audiences a window into the culture, while letting Filipino Canadians see their own lives reflected on a national stage. The challenge was immense. In the early days, Josel was only a handful of Asian comedians on the circuit, but his breakthrough came from this very authenticity. By blending a sharp one-liner style with compelling storytelling about his multicultural reality, he created a brand of comedy that was universally appealing. He wasn't just telling jokes, he was translating a cultural experience. Today, the Josel name represents a global comedy brand. Ron has performed in prestigious festivals like Just for Laughs multiple times and headlined sold-out shows from the Middle East to Asia and across North America. With millions of views across social media, his influence is undeniable. The wealth of his influence is the deep well of cultural pride he has built. He walked so a new generation of Filipino-Canadian performers could run, proving that our stories, our accents, and our families are sources of immense power. Number 9. The Asin family, building a community brick by brick. At number 9, we journey to the heart of the prairies, to Winnipeg, Manitoba, where one family has become a pillar of both the real estate market and the Filipino community. This is the domain of the Asin family. Their wealth is not just in property transactions, but in the trust and relationships they have built over decades. The Asin story is a classic immigrant saga of adaptation and reinvention. Arriving in Canada with a background far from real estate, the family faced the task of establishing a new career. The initial years were filled with the typical struggles, learning a new system and building a network from scratch in a competitive industry. Winnipeg, with its large and growing Filipino population, presented both an opportunity and a challenge. The community needed trusted advisors who understood their unique cultural values. The breakthrough for the ASINs was the decision to root their business squarely within the community they knew best. They didn't just sell houses, they became guides for countless Filipino families navigating the complexities of home ownership in Canada. They understood the dream of the bahay at lupa, the house and lot that is so deeply ingrained in Filipino culture. They spoke their language, understood their needs for multi-generational living, and patiently guided them through a process that could often feel overwhelming. This community-first approach built an empire of trust. The ASIN name, with realtors like Justin ASIN, became associated with real estate success in Winnipeg's Filipino circles. This wasn't just about commissions, it was about building generational wealth for the families they served. Their influence extends beyond business, positioning them as figures people turn to for advice and support. The wealth of the ASIN family is twofold: the tangible success of a thriving real estate practice and the intangible influence they hold as trusted pillars of the Winnipeg Filipino community. They didn't just sell properties, they helped build a community, one home, one family at a time. Number 8. The Coe family, guardians of public health and advocacy. For our number 8 spot, we shift from commerce to the critical field of medicine, highlighting a family whose influence is measured in lives protected and policies shaped. We turn again to Manitoba, to the Coe family, led by the formidable Dr. Denise Coe. This family's wealth is one of intellectual capital, fierce advocacy, and profound public service. Dr. Denise Coe is a second-generation Filipino-Canadian, inspired by the legacy of her own father, a respected professor and trailblazer. Following in his footsteps of service, Dr. Coe embarked on a career specializing in public health and occupational medicine. Her journey became one of fighting for the underserved, channeling her experiences as a Filipino woman of color in medicine into a passion for advocacy. The ultimate challenge came during the global pandemic. As Manitoba's chief occupational medical officer, Dr. Coe was thrust onto the front lines, tasked with protecting the province's workforce. She focused on high-risk, often racialized groups, including temporary foreign workers and those in food processing plants, sectors where the Filipino community is heavily represented. She understood their vulnerabilities because they were her community. Her work was instrumental in the province's pandemic response. She became known as the Workplace MD, a protector of Manitoba's essential workers. But her influence doesn't stop there. Dr. Coe is also an entrepreneur in the wellness space, founding MedRes X, a support network and app designed to help medical professionals combat burnout. Dr. Coe has been named one of the most influential Filipino women in the world and recognized as one of Canada's most powerful women. The Coe family's influence is built on resilience and leadership. Their wealth is the health and safety of countless Manitobans, the policies they've helped shape, and the powerful example of a Filipino-Canadian doctor who, when faced with a historic crisis, stood up as a guardian for her province.
Number 7. The Gallion family, the sweet taste of an immigrant dream. Coming in at number 7 is a story that proves an empire can be built on flour, sugar, and the comforting taste of home. This is the story of the Gallion family, the masterminds behind the beloved FV Foods, a Filipino food chain that has become an institution. Theirs is a fortune built from humble beginnings. The story begins in 1998 when Melchor Gallion came to Toronto to represent his home province of Quezon at a festival. He brought with him local Filipino products and saw an insatiable demand from a community starved for authentic flavors. Seizing the opportunity, Melchor decided to stay in Canada and pursue his dream of a food business. The beginnings were as humble as they come. He started cooking traditional Filipino desserts in his small apartment, while his partner, Flora Vinjola, the FV in FV Foods, acted as the delivery driver. The challenge was scaling up. Cooking in an apartment was unsustainable. The leap from a home-based hustle to a registered commercial business is a valley of death for many entrepreneurs. For the Gallion family, it was a moment of pure risk. They registered a commercial kitchen in 2000, pouring everything they had into the venture. That risk was their breakthrough. The business exploded. Within 5 years, they moved to a larger location, which eventually expanded into a sprawling 8,000 square foot factory in Scarborough. FV Foods grew from a wholesale supplier to a chain of bakery restaurants across the Greater Toronto area. Today, with a catalog of over 100 different products, they supply numerous retail stores across multiple provinces. The Gallion family empire is a testament to the power of a simple, well-executed idea. They simply gave the Filipino-Canadian community a taste of home with uncompromising quality. Their wealth is in their brand's deep emotional connection with the community. And true to their roots, they give back through the FV Cares Foundation, supporting new migrants and feeding the hungry, ensuring their success lifts others up. Number 6. The Santiago Gangnon Voyer family, the cultural entrepreneurs. At our number 6 spot, we see the future of Filipino-Canadian wealth. It's young, digitally native, and deeply rooted in social purpose. This is the world of the Santiago Gangnon Voyer family, the visionaries behind Cambio & Co., an ethical fashion brand that is redefining what it means to be a Filipino enterprise on the global stage. The story starts with Jelaine Santiago, who, along with her husband Jerome Gangnon Voyer, felt a disconnect from their Filipino heritage. They saw a generation of young Filipino Canadians like them who were searching for a tangible connection to their roots. At the same time, they saw incredible craftsmanship in the Philippines that was largely unknown to the international market. This disconnect became their mission. The challenge was huge. How do you build a for-profit business that is also a vehicle for cultural preservation? The world of fashion is notoriously difficult, and building a brand around the principle of build ecosystems, not empires, is a radical act. They had to convince consumers to invest in pieces that were more than just accessories. They were stories, handcrafted by Filipino artisans. Their breakthrough was their masterful use of digital storytelling. Cambio & Co. was built online, using social media and e-commerce to connect directly with a global diaspora audience. They didn't just sell jewelry, they sold the story of the artisan who made it and the pride of wearing a piece of one's heritage. Jelaine Santiago herself became a powerful voice, recognized as one of Canada's top immigrant entrepreneurs for her work in promoting Filipino culture. The family's influence provides a blueprint for modern, purpose-driven wealth. Cambio & Co. has become a significant business, proving that social impact and profitability can go hand in hand by paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to their artisan partners in the Philippines. Their wealth is in their brand's integrity, their international network of artisans, and their influence over a new generation that now has a stylish, modern way to wear their pride. The Santiago Gangnon Voyer family is building an enterprise that is not just financially rich, but culturally priceless. The stories you're hearing are just the beginning. These families represent the pinnacle of ambition and community building. If you're feeling inspired, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We have more incredible stories coming up, and you won't want to miss who takes our number 1 spot. Which family story resonates with you the most so far? Let us know in the comments below. Now, let's get back to the countdown. Number 5. The Arago family, the gatekeepers of Filipino flavor. Breaking into our top 5, we have a family whose empire is hidden in plain sight, sitting in the pantries and on the dinner tables of thousands of Filipino Canadians. This is the empire of the Arago family, founders of Arago Foods Limited, a significant importer and distributor of Filipino food products in Western Canada. The Arago family story is one of logistics and foresight. When Filipinos immigrate, they bring an unbreakable attachment to the flavors of home. The demand for specific brands of soy sauce, vinegar, and snacks isn't just a preference, it's a need for comfort and identity. In the early days, accessing these products was a challenge. The Arago family saw this gap not as an inconvenience, but as a massive business opportunity. They had to build the complex infrastructure for international food importation. This is a world of customs, shipping logistics, and distribution networks that requires capital, patience, and precision. They had to build relationships with manufacturers in the Philippines and, simultaneously, a distribution network of grocery stores across Canada. The breakthrough for the Arago family was their success in building a reliable and efficient supply chain. They became the crucial link connecting Filipino producers with the rapidly growing Canadian consumer base. By securing distribution rights for beloved brands and ensuring that store shelves were consistently stocked, Arago Foods became an indispensable partner for retailers. They weren't just selling food, they were selling reliability. Today, the Arago Foods empire is a quiet giant. Their trucks on the highways and their products in the aisles of Asian supermarkets represent a major operation. Their wealth is built on the simple, powerful act of bringing the taste of the Philippines to Canada. Their influence is felt at every Filipino gathering, and every moment a newly arrived immigrant finds a familiar product that makes Canada feel a little more like home. The Arago family proves that sometimes the richest empires are the ones that feed the community, both literally and figuratively.
Number 4. The David family, the architects of the multicultural message. At number 4, we enter the world of media and marketing, where the power to shape narratives is the ultimate currency. Here, the David family, helmed by the visionary Joycelyn David, has built an empire of influence through AV Communications, a premier multicultural marketing agency. Joycelyn David's journey is one of corporate prowess and entrepreneurial vision. With a marketing background spanning over 20 years at global organizations, she saw firsthand how large corporations were often failing to genuinely connect with diverse communities. They saw demographics, not people. Their marketing was based on stereotypes, not authentic insights. Her major challenge, and later her breakthrough, was to convince Canada's top brands that multicultural marketing wasn't just about translation, it was about cultural intelligence. In 2019, she acquired AV Communications and supercharged it with her global experience. She championed the idea that to speak to the Filipino community, you had to understand their values and mindset from the inside out. Under her leadership, AV Communications has been recognized as one of Canada's top growing companies, serving major clients like BMO and Diageo. Joycelyn herself has become a force in the industry. She serves on the boards of POCAM, People of Color in Advertising and Marketing, and the Multicultural Marketing Alliance Canada, shaping the industry's direction. She was named one of the most influential Filipino women in the world for her contributions. The David family's empire is one of strategic communication. Their wealth comes from their unique ability to bridge the gap between corporate Canada and its diverse consumers. Joycelyn David didn't just build an agency, she built a platform for cultural understanding, publishing her book, The Multicultural Mindset, to spread her philosophy. Her influence ensures that when brands speak to the Filipino community, they do so with respect and authenticity. Number 3. The Davila family, the steady hand in a national crisis. For our number 3 spot, we recognize a family whose name became synonymous with calm, credible leadership during one of the most tumultuous periods in modern Canadian history. This is the legacy of the Davila family, led by Dr. Eileen Davila, the woman who guided Canada's largest city through the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Davila's story is one of academic excellence and unwavering public service. With degrees in medicine, health science, and an MBA, she was uniquely qualified for the role. She became Toronto's Medical Officer of Health in 2017, putting her in charge of the well-being of nearly 3 million people. The ultimate challenge of her career arrived in 2020. The pandemic plunged Toronto into a state of crisis, and Dr. Davila was thrust into the spotlight, becoming the face of the city's response. She faced immense pressure, making life-or-death decisions based on evolving science, all while navigating a public fraught with fear.
Her breakthrough was her communication style. Day after day, she appeared before the public with a calm, steady, and authoritative presence. She became a trusted voice in a sea of misinformation. She guided Toronto through its largest immunization campaign in history and advised leaders on the difficult measures needed to curb the virus's spread. Her leadership earned her numerous accolades, including Communicator of the Year. The Davila family's wealth is a fortune of public trust. After serving as medical officer of health through the pandemic, Dr. Davila announced her resignation at the end of 2024 to begin her next chapter. Her influence endures. She demonstrated to the entire nation the power of a Filipino-Canadian leader at the helm during a crisis. The family's name is etched into Toronto's history as a symbol of steadfast dedication to the health and safety of the community. Number 2. The Boxall family, the titans of real estate. As we near the top of our list, we move into an industry that shapes where and how Canadians live and work. At number 2, we find an empire built not on flashy speculation, but on the steady, essential business of property management. This is the empire of the Boxall family, with Robert Boxall as a leading figure at the helm of Gateway Property Management. The story here is one of building a dominant force in a foundational sector of the Canadian economy. Robert Boxall, who is of Filipino heritage through his mother, has played a key role in steering one of the largest residential and commercial property management firms in the country. Gateway manages a massive portfolio, overseeing tens of thousands of rental units, condos, and commercial spaces from British Columbia to Ontario. The challenge in property management is one of scale and trust. It's an industry of endless details, from maintenance and tenant relations to complex financial reporting. To become a leader, a company must build an ironclad reputation for reliability with property owners and residents alike. It requires a long-term vision, not just to focus on short-term gains. The Boxall family's breakthrough was achieving that scale and trust. Under their leadership, Gateway grew into a quiet giant. They didn't just manage buildings, they became custodians of communities, responsible for the homes and workplaces of a huge number of Canadians. This strategy of professional, dependable service allowed for massive expansion, making them a go-to partner for real estate investors and developers. Today, the Gateway Empire is a testament to the Boxall family's business acumen. Their wealth is tangible, measured in the vast portfolio of properties they manage and the revenue that generates. Their influence comes from being a critical, if often unseen, player in Canada's housing and commercial real estate markets, and a powerful example of Filipino-Canadian leadership at the highest levels of corporate Canada.
Number 1. The Valdez family, a political dynasty in the making. And now for our number 1 spot. We've seen empires of food, media, and real estate. But our top family has built their influence where all of Canada's rules are made. The most influential Filipino family in Canada today is the Valdez family, whose matriarch, the Honorable Richest Valdez, has shattered one of the highest glass ceilings in the nation. Born in Zambia to Filipino parents, Richest Valdez arrived in Canada in 1989. Her path to power wasn't a straight line. She spent 15 years in corporate banking, then took the entrepreneurial leap, starting her own baking business and even competing on the Food Network. This unique blend of experience gave her a deep understanding of the Canadian economy. But the greatest challenge for her and for the Filipino community was political underrepresentation. For nearly 2 decades after Dr. Ray Pagtakin's departure in 2004, the nearly 1 million-strong Filipino-Canadian community had no sitting member of parliament. There was a vacuum of representation at the highest level of decision-making. Richest Valdez's breakthrough was historic. In the 2021 federal election, she didn't just run, she won, becoming the first Filipino-Canadian woman ever elected to the House of Commons. But she didn't stop there. In 2023, she was appointed to cabinet as the Minister of Small Business. For the first time in Canadian history, a Filipino was at the cabinet table with a direct hand in shaping national economic policy. Today, the Valdez family's influence is unparalleled. As a federal minister, Rechi Valdez holds a key position in the Canadian government, advocating for the small businesses that are the backbone of the economy. Her position gives the Filipino-Canadian community a direct line to the heart of power. The Valdez family's wealth isn't financial. It's a wealth of political power, national influence, and the priceless legacy of opening a door through which generations of future Filipino-Canadian leaders will walk. They have built the most potent empire of all, an empire of political voice. From the comedy clubs of Toronto to the corridors of Parliament Hill, the stories of these 10 families paint a powerful picture of success. They are innovators, leaders, and community builders who prove that true richness is more than just net worth. It's about the wealth of influence you build, the legacy you leave, and the community you lift up along the way. The common threads are clear: resilience, a deep connection to their cultural roots, and an unwavering drive to build something that lasts. They saw gaps in the market, in public service, and in cultural representation, and they had the courage to fill them. These families are the vanguards of a new era of Filipino-Canadian influence. Their success sends a powerful message to every member of the community. Your story matters, your skills are valuable, and your potential is limitless. They are the architects of a new Canadian dream, one where a Filipino name is synonymous with leadership, power, and success. Which of these family stories inspires you the most? Are there other influential Filipino-Canadian families that you think should be on this list? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. If you found these stories as inspiring as we did, please give this video a thumbs up. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more content celebrating success within our community. Click that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.